The member. The question is that the bill now be read a second time. I call the member for Baulkham Hills.
Thank you, Mr Assistant Speaker. Mr Acting Speaker, I rise to make a contribution in support of the Royal Commission's Amendment Bill, and members will be aware that this is in fact a very, very delicate matter, and calling on a Royal Commission, no government does so lightly. Unfortunately, the members of this House know plenty of examples of child abuse, particularly sexual abuse, going on in their own communities. I myself have only recently had to deal with a very distraught family who are fighting for justice after the sexual abuse of their daughter by somebody who was in a position of authority. It reminded me of the importance of making sure that government get this legislation right. I've also had, unfortunately, experience in Royal Commissions, having worked in the Police Media Unit during the Wood Royal Commission into police corruption. Those particular times were trying. They were a blot on this state's great history, and certainly on the great history of the New South Wales Police. And I will make some comments later on in my contribution about the importance of making sure that this doesn't become a witch hunt. But I think that it is a great message for us to be able to send out to the community, the victims of sexual abuse, and more importantly to the perpetrators of sexual abuse, that this government, the opposition and the Commonwealth, on both sides of politics, will stop at nothing to ensure we root out the evils of sexual abuse upon minors. This bill is about creating an efficient and effective means of conducting what will be one of the most significant Royal Commissions this country has ever seen, namely the Commonwealth's Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse. This National Royal Commission will no doubt be of great interest to the community, and it is essential that the processes involved in conducting the Royal Commission are consistent across Australian jurisdictions. It has been pleasing to see that there has been a degree of cooperation between the federal and state governments on this important issue. I'm quite certain that all members of this House and other Houses of Parliament, like across our country, want to see this sensitive and concerning issue dealt with in the best process possible. In setting up the Royal Commission, the Governor of New South Wales, Her Excellency Professor Marie Bashir, AC CVO, has issued equivalent and concurrent letters patent under New South Wales laws to support the legal basis of the National Royal Commission. It is imperative that New South Wales legislation be consistent with the Commonwealth legislation to ensure that the National Royal Commission will have the same powers available to it should it need to rely upon its New South Wales letters patent and powers. It is clear that New South Wales Government takes this issue very seriously. If I could just pause there, Mr Acting Speaker, and commend the Premier on his very, very courageous approach to this particular matter. Mr Acting Speaker, we've said in this Parliament before that the Premier, Barry O'Farrell, is not one for turning. He's certainly not a leader that wants to turn his back on those difficult issues. And I think, Mr Acting Speaker, the mere fact that the Premier was keen to implement a special commission of inquiry even before the Commonwealth had determined a Royal Commission is proof positive of his commitment to rooting out child sexual assaults, and also his commitment to the safety and well-being of the children of this state. This Royal Commission has been set up in order to seek the truth in a matter very, very complex, which involves several institutions and, unfortunately, an unknown number of individual cases. Child sexual abuse is one of the most abhorrent crimes that can be committed, made worse by the innocence of its victims. Mr Acting Speaker, as a father of two young boys, I, like many of the parents in this House, have a particular and disturbing view about the way this particular crime has been covered up over the years, and I'm very, very keen to see light shined upon this particular crime. Unsurprisingly, the entire community takes a dim view, and indeed it's important to note, Mr Acting Speaker, that it's not just parents who take a dim view on child sexual abuse. It is therefore only natural that the prospect of large-scale institutional involvement in such repugnant behaviour is alarming to every citizen in this state and across the nation. I'm very pleased that the opposition is supporting the bill and the creation of the Royal Commission. I would like to endorse the comments made by the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable John Robinson, this morning, that this Royal Commission is not set up to target any particular institution. This Royal Commission has wide terms of reference which will no doubt ensure the conduct of many institutions in this regard will be examined. That is exactly how it should be. And I agree with the opposition leader, and I for one will stand beside him and monitor the situation to ensure that there is no unjust or misinformed accusations made against innocent parties. A Royal Commission is in the highest form of inquiry that a government in this country can establish. It is a real indication of how seriously the matter is being taken, and such a cooperative National Royal Commission is being established accordingly. The powers, independent and calibre of the Commissioners of the Royal Commission will guarantee that the inquiry will be conducted in an impartial and judicial fashion, as is befitting of such an important investigation. The specific amendments obtained in the bill include enabling the Chairman of the Royal Commission to authorise one or more Commissioners to exercise certain powers and functions of their own, including the power to conduct separate concurrent hearings. The bill also amends the legal qualifications that a Commissioner is required to hold and to exercise the special powers of commissions. And this is a very, very important point. We cannot just have anybody holding over the powers of a Royal Commission. People that understand the importance of fairness and transparency in our judicial system are the ones that should be leading this particular inquiry. These amendments will bring the qualifications requirement into line with all other inquiries, such as the Independent Commission Against Corruption, amongst others. These amendments will facilitate the operation of the Royal Commission and will tailor the Commission's powers and functions to fit the requirements of this important inquiry. Naturally, many of the people involved in the inquiry will be quite vulnerable, requiring a very special and different approach in terms of conducting the investigation and the hearings. For years, child sexual abuse has been far too prevalent, and with far too many instances being hidden by many institutions across the country. Far too many young lives have been destroyed. And we did hear from the member for Mile Lakes about the unfortunate situation he found himself in as a member of the New South Wales Police, and how it has an ongoing effect on those who have been victimised by this abhorrent crime. The community has called out for such a definitive inquiry to get to the bottom of this long-running and very, very murky matter. This Commission should be given every power, encouragement and opportunity to enable it to properly seek the truth regarding institutional responses to child sexual abuse. This bill is all about ensuring the Commission can do its job in an impartial and effective manner. I commend the bill and the Royal Commission to the House.